Hello friends, myself Jayashri Teli welcomes all of you in virtual video class of Special English drama. We are discussing on Nagmandala, written by bilingual playwright Girish Karnad. Nagmandala is written in Kannada and translated by Karnad himself in English afterwards, and it published in 1988. So, here we discussed about the different characters, and also we discussed on the short story of Nagmandala. Completed discussion on act-wise summary of Nagmandala also. So, let's turn towards the next issues regarding Nagamandala. Today's issue is, or the subject of our discussion is patriarchal ideology in Nagamandala. Patriarchal. I think you maybe know the meaning of patriarchal or not. So I want to explain the word patriarchal first. Patriarchal means, especially man dominated society is known as a patriarchal society, where is father, brother, husband are the dominant roles in the families, and women are second place or sub so in short, there was not as respected as the gents. That is patriarchal. The meaning of patriarchal here is that where, where we see that पॅट्रिआर्कल इन मराठी पितृप्रधान सत्ता किंवा ज्याला आपण म्हणू की पुरुष हा कुटुंबाचा प्रमुख असतो, अशा ठिकाणी पॅट्रिआर्कल सोसायटी म्हटली जाते ना. और इंडियन कल्चर, when we think about Indian culture, yet today we see the patriarchal society. So Girish Karnad in his plays voices the mute miseries and helplessness of women. As the man is the head of family, women are forced to listen them. Women forced to behave according to their wish. And all these things now we have to discuss through this place. Nagamandala is a socio-psychological study. Nagamandala is a socio-psychological study of Indian women, a richly textured dramatic transmutation of two folk tales of Karnataka. Especially, it deals with the gender via search for self. It deals with gender means here the domination of male gender is shown here, and the subjection of women of patriarchal. The protagonist Rani of Nagamandala married to a man who was rich and his parents were died. We see here that Rani's parents are least bothered about the character and wrongdoings of Appanna. Her parents are equally responsible for the miseries, and after marriage they never visit Rani. Here, protagonist Rani is a symbol of any woman who is not ready to face life on her own once she leaves the defensive threshold of her parents' home. Patriarchal society uses marriage as a tool to exploit and tyrannize women on so many planes. These planes here means so many uh, sides. For example, physical, emotional, intellectual, sexual, and social, where patriarchal society try to exploit the women. She try to exploit physically, emotionally, intellectually, sexually, and socially also. The present play deals with the married life of Rani and Appanna. There is not a normal relationship between them. Marriage is not only as an honorable career on less trying than any others, it also permits a woman to keep her social dignity intact. At the same time to find sexual fulfillment as lived one and mother. In short, here he brings his young wife to his own house and keeps her under the lock and key. Rahi locked Rani in a room. And then he locked her in a room. He only comes at home only once in the afternoon to find his lunch. And for his lunch, he passes his days and nights with his concubine and Rani, nearly a deserted wife. Her dreams of happy married life are totally shattered into pieces. There was no one to support Rani in her solitary cell except her parents who comes in her dream and console her. She missed her parents very moment. But there is no choice in front of her. And here, the imprisonment of Rani, solitary imprisonment of Rani by Appanna in the house symbolizes the chastity of the Middle Ages. The decline of women's talents to housework and keeping out of women from the enlightenment and enjoyment. Short, in the Middle Age, women are declined for their talents to housework only. They are the any restrictions for keeping out, or there are no permission to go outside and do something for the women. Then women within and without wedlock, women should live in the wedlock. They are subjected to various forms of deprivations, humiliations, violations, torture in almost every walk of life in one way or the other. They faces to such a things in their life. So Appanna here treats Rani as his housekeeper and cook in his life. He does not allow her to any social contacts or connections, and that's why he locked her in home to make confirm that she remained in isolation. And for that he brings a word. He brings home a watchdog for watching on the house. Then he brings mungus, and because he have a doubt that there may be a snake came and visit Rani. So his attitude towards women reminds one of the observation in Sika's plays, the Ivam Indrajit, Girls must follow the rules and men can do what they like, but women must be obedient. Here he wanted to say that women must be obedient. They have no authority to do what they want. Okay? Masculinity and femininity have two different types in the patriarchal order, social order. In patriarchal social order, masculinity is associated with superiority. Masculinity means purushatva, and femininity means striyatva. Masculinity implies the strength, action, self-assertion, domination. On the other hand, femininity implies the weakness, passivity, docility, obedience, and self-negation. Means self is not important here. Husband is important. His wish is important. In short, man in home is important. His ideas are most important. So, folk tales in patriarchal society always focus the fears and wishes of male. Folk tales in a patriarchal society always impose fear and wishes of male. They do not give much importance to the inner feelings and experiences of women. Girish Karnad adopts the male originated folk tale in such a way that it represents the psychological realities of man and woman. It represents psychological realities of man and woman. Here Rani and Appanna both symbolizes the middle age where man is superior in middle ages and woman is a subordinate. Rani's wifehood is imprisonment. What she find after marriage? After marriage, she only get imprisonment, nothing more than that. So, here Rani represents, just a minute. Yes, here is some mistake in sentence structure. Rani represents pure Indian women who do more unquestioning, uncomplaining, and also she was placed under the chain of restrictions. Chain of restrictions places around women. Means she was placed between among the restrictions. Here we see that Rani is a passive victim. Rani is a passive victim of masculinity, of male dominated society. Just a minute. She also victim of the male dominating society which was cruel, who has a cruel husband and exercises absolute supremacy over his innocent and new spouse. Then we turn towards the next video, next point, that is Naga, love of Naga. We see that Rani was very unhappy. He never get respect from his husband. She never satisfied physically or mentally by him. See, he hurted always him. He creates fear in her mind. On the other hand, when the mystical root applied, Kori she pours at anthill, Naga tests it, and up to that time Naga falls in love of Rani. In the form of Appanna, Naga visits every night to the Rani, and Naga loves her. Naga behaves very affectionately with her. And not only it, she satisfied not only her, she gives satisfaction of mentally, but also inform Naga in the form of Appanna, satisfied her physically also or sexual need also. So Naga made her pregnant, and when the Appanna learns about her pregnancy, he became furious and he drags her to the panchayat. In reality is that Rani know nothing about Naga. In short, Rani has a question in her mind, or she is confused that why her husband Appanna behaves so rudely in afternoon, and why he behaves with such a full of love in night. They are the two different persons for Rani, the single person. She confused from start to end. Appanna drags her to Panchayat. You know that in patriarchal society, women never revolt against his husband. So she becomes the victim of it. He drags her to Panchayat, and village Panchayat, she forced her to take oath, and she take oath that she never touched any man except her husband Appanna and Naga. And there happens her, she has to put her hand in the anthill or the snake feet. She put it, and very magical thing happens. Naga flies, and it became the garland in the neck of Rani. So Panchayat declares her innocence. Panchayat accepts her, declares her as a goddess or divine birth. That's why Appan has no choice. He accepts her. He started happy life with his own wife, but Naga saved Rani's life but sacrificed his own life. In the end, we see that Naga died. Naga returns her life. Naga returns her husband to her, and but Naga himself sacrificed its life, and it is so hurt. The end of the other things are not demand. We have here focus on the patriarchal things. In patriarchal things, Rani is the best example of patriarchal society, and she became the victim of all this, where she is forced, she is under violence, she is under pressure of the her husband. Okay, now we stop here. Thank you very much.